Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to my channel. As always, you are so welcome here. You're all my VIPs, whoever you are. And I just want to say thank you to all of you who have been watching and left comments and, liked and subscribed and shared and everything. It really means a lot. And I hope this topic today is going to be helpful as well. It's really an important one, I think. So, as you know, I'm a psychotherapist and a hypnotherapist within the area of narcissistic abuse within the family system. So, the topic for today is if you had a narcissistic parent, uh, this may be a major block to manifesting the life that you dream of. And I'm sure that word manifesting will ring bells with many people at the moment. Because manifestation, law of attraction, law of assumption are all the rage right now. um, Many advocates of these ways of seeing the world suggest that it's not just sort of a wishful thinking, but it's actually a scientific um, and life transforming way of seeing things. So I'm not going to go into all the details of it here and explain each of them and all the rest of it, because that's not what this video is about. I want to put narcissistic abuse in childhood within the context of these two, what can we call them, ways of being, ways of seeing. But basically, what they both call someone to do is to be more aware of what you are thinking and what you are imagining, and then to think and imagine things as you want them to be, not as you don't, or not as they are presenting themselves to you in the present circumstances of your life. So you imagine how you wish to live, how you wish to be, the person you wish to be. And then you allow yourself to feel what that would be like, to imagine it, to put yourself in the scene of what it would be like to be that person. And then just by doing that, already it's going to be begin to be made manifest in your life. It will fall into place either immediately or at some point. It's kind of an ask, believe, and then receive philosophy. Now, for adults who had a narcissistic parent, this can seem very attractive. But just the thought of stating freely what they really want for themselves and being told, yes, you can have that you're going to be it, can seem utterly impossible. Now, why do I say that? Well, you see, a narcissistic parent, and I was speaking about this a bit yesterday in my video, projects an image onto their child about who they are, and then they nurture that image in them for the rest of their lives. It's kind of like a dictating who the child is. It's a controlling of the child's identity. And the child comes to see themselves through the eyes of their narcissistic parent, and they accept it. This is who I am. Yep, this is my identity. I'm trapped. There's no, no point trying to change that. This is me. However, if or when the child or adult begins to try to break out of that image, of that identity, and start to struggle with it and almost rebel against it a bit and believe in their own desires and abilities for their life, and to try to break out of the projected limitations that they've internalized from their parent about who they are guaranteed, especially in childhood, to be met with one of the following types of narcissistic rage. So it could be something along the lines of mockery, you know, almost dismissing it with a sort of quizzical look, maybe a bit of pity. Is that what you really? Is that what you'd really like? Or words such as, in childhood, oh, you're getting a bit too big for your boots, aren't you? Or who do you think you are? I think so much of yourself. Or oh, get you, Miss or Mr. Know-it-all. Or it might just be a kind of raised eyes. Oh, really? Okay. And if it's a covert narcissistic parent, well, they are likely to bring up something from the past, some evidence from the past to hijack your belief in your potential, in this you separate from the image that they've projected onto you. So they might bring up something that kind of very subtly suggests that this is who you are. That's not possible. Or they might triangulate, with somebody else, sort of, I don't know, if you're dreaming of, being a lawyer or something like that, and your narcissistic parent has this image of you as somebody incapable, lazy, or whatever it might be. They're going to bring up something from the past, for example. Oh yeah, Teresa's daughter. She wanted to be a lawyer, but bless her, she wasn't very. I don't know. She just didn't have the intellectual capability for it. And that's important, isn't it? You've got to be able to be really organized and confident. Do you think you'll be able to? Um, So they bring up something that will make it seem impossible for you. And sometimes they don't even have to use words. It's just the look that that can kind of bring you back down to size, back to that negative image of you. They link it back to that identity that they have stamped into you. And they suggest, but that's not who you are really. I know you truly. Nobody knows you like your mother. So don't try to put on this, big show with me. You see, you were controlled to believe that if you wanted your own life of great success, and this goes for the golden child and the scapegoat and all the others, if you wanted your own life of great success, of thriving, of, doing work that you love, being a confident adult, capable business person, of looking your best, or being slim or wealthy or living in this country, whatever, then the narcissistic parent will take it to mean that you're doing it as an attack towards them. They can't compute it because for them, that's not the truth of you. It's almost as if that they cannot bring that image together with you, who you really are, because that if they let go of that image, then they've let go of you being an extension of them, and that means they can no longer control you. So the narcissistic parent takes your desire to manifest the life beyond your wildest dreams as and if you do manifest it more and more, if you do become more and more of that person you long to be, they take it as if you're just doing it to compete with them, to one up them, They take it as a personal attack, and it's almost suggested that it's your arrogance or your narcissism coming out. Yeah, it's like you're competing with them. So, while on one hand you deeply desire to be what you yearn to be, and I hear this from my clients all the time, you yearn to be fully well, successful, thriving, confident. If you had a narcissistic parent, there's always going to be this voice of doubt, which you've believed for so long to be the voice of truth, of your authentic you, and it's not. That little voice of the narcissistic parent always suggests that if you try to be that person you are wanting to be, you're being fake. You can't be it because it's not you. And coupled with that, that little inner voice is also going to say to you, gosh, you're thinking so much of yourself, aren't you? You're being so self-centered, and having that dream is very selfish of you. It's all about you, isn't it? You're arrogant. You're becoming narcissistic, wanting all of this. In fact, that you're going to be a bad person. You're going to be a bad person if you're given all of this. It's going to make you into somebody narcissistic. So, because becoming that person, what it's actually saying to the narcissistic parent is, becoming that person ultimately means that you are busting out of their projections onto you. You're busting out particularly of their negative projections onto you about who you are and what you're capable of, and who you really are. And it's also no longer you choosing to be a people pleaser. So that dream of yours that you have for your life, that dream of you becoming all that you yearn to be, it may be in stark contrast to the image that the narcissistic parent stamped into you about who you are and what's possible. And it's what they've tried so hard to ensure you will always be subservient to, you will always be held by. That is why, in many, many ways, I believe that the law of attraction, the law of assumption, whatever you believe about it, I think it can be a great catalyst to help with healing from narcissistic abuse, because instead of hearing from the narcissistic parent, you can't, that's not who you are, the law of attraction or assumption says, yes, you can. And more importantly than that, actually, it says, this is who you are. You're not trying to become somebody different. You're actually becoming you. And that the narcissist's projections are the fake you. So really what we're doing here is we're allowing out your authentic self. You're not trying to become something different. No. So those desires that you have are actually, and if you're somebody who has a spiritual belief, they are actually God's call within you to become who you authentically are. God who wants you thriving, joyful, and living the life of your dreams. And I want to tell you today, yes, you can be that person. In fact, it is your obligation to become them. because it's who you already are and always has been. And of course, your desires are unique to you. I don't have the same desires for my life as you have for yours. That's what makes this your song to sing. And it's time that we allow your true voice to begin singing it from the rooftops and living that life that's always felt like a distant fairy tale wish dream, that actually, no, this is what you're here to embody and experience. That's true justice. Anyway, thank you, everybody. Please leave any comments if you have any thoughts on this. It's lovely to have your opinions and your feedback. As you can hear, I'm quite passionate about this because I really do believe that what's robbed of us really growing up with a narcissistic parent is our potential and our belief in our potential. Yeah, also if this is something that you struggle with, well, book in for a free consultation with me, and we will get you catapulted out of the lies that have held you hostage. Now is the time. Thanks, everybody. Take care.